योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्.
Hello friends, I am Professor Sreniksa. Today in this session, I will discuss the concept of decision making with reference to sell or process further, operate or shut down. Let us start first with sell or process further. Emergence of multiple product is the characteristic feature of process type of industries. These products, distinguished as byproducts and joint products, differ from one another on the basis of their commercial importance. Regardless of their commercial importance, they are all results of joint processing. Since the cost incurred in respect of multiple are indivisible, they are known as joint cost. At the point of separation, there is nothing like separate cost. All costs are joint cost. In order to sell the multiple products at the point of separation, it is necessary to know their individual equitable and acceptable basis. After ascertaining the share of each product in the joint cost, decision is to be taken whether to sell some or all these products at the point of split off or process further. Further processing requires additional expenditure. This expenditure is known as shares of joint cost. The joint costs are therefore a portion to this product on as post split off cost. Subsequent costs, as they are called, are incurred to increase the commercial importance of some of these multiple products. The decision whether to sell joint products at this point of separation or incur additional expenditure to enhance the commercial value of these products depends entirely upon the expected incremental revenue as against the additional processing cost. It is in this context we fall back upon the concept of relevant cost, which are instrumental in influencing the decision. Differential cost analysis is also applied in order to assess whether it would be more profitable to sell a product as it is or to process it further into different products. This would be sold at an increased price. If incremental revenue as a result of further processing is more than additional cost of processing further, processing is desirable. Now, let us come to plant shutdown decisions. A factory may stop production for a certain period due to many reasons, as for example, material shortage, labor troubles, shortage of finance, insufficient orders, market depression, major breakdown, etc. The management under such circumstances might feel that plant shutdown, that is closing down the business, is better than operating at a loss. This shutdown may be temporary in future and operations may resume as soon as the situation improves. Now, let us come to the types of shutdown. The decision of plant shutdown may either be number 1 temporary shutdown, number 2 permanent shutdown. Now, let us come to temporary shutdown. Temporary suspension of activities is a short term measure. The object is usually to stop operations until trade depression has passed. The question before management is, when should operations to be suspended, or in other words, how long should operations be continued? The answer to this question is that if products are making a contribution towards fixed cost, then generally speaking production should not be suspended. This is because continuing production will help minimizing loss which would be incurred if plant is shut down. Thus, the information needed to solve this type of problem involves a comparison between probable loss at a given level of output and the loss that would be suffered if production is suspended temporarily. Role of committed and discretionary fixed cost. Sometimes certain fixed cost can be avoided by management when plant is not operative. These are termed as discretionary fixed cost. Committed fixed cost on the other hand are those that cannot be avoided even if production is discontinued. In decisions to close down temporarily, contributions should be compared with fixed cost which is to be incurred when plant is shut down, that is committed cost. Examples of fixed cost which may be avoided by closing down are advertisement cost, research and development, part of salaries, etc. The longer the period of shutdown, the larger the amount of avoidable fixed cost is likely to be. Let us come to the second type of the shutdown, that is permanent shutdown. So far as permanent closing down of business is concerned, such a decision is a drastic step and should be taken only when in the long run the business does not expect to earn a sufficient return to cover the risk involved. In other words, in the long run, selling price must not only cover the total cost, but should give a reasonable return on the capital employed. Shutdown cost may be classified as follows. Number 1, cost incurred due to stoppage of operations, as for example, retrenchment and layoff cost, cost of notifying customers regarding shutdown, etc. Number 2, cost incurred due to continued shutdown, as for example, cost of maintenance and protection of plant and machinery, etc. Number 3, cost incurred after shutdown, as for example, cost of recruiting and training new employees, time lag in picking up the production and sales, additional sales promotional cost, etc. Now, let us come to the shutdown point. A shutdown point is reached when the contribution from continued operations is equal to the difference between the fixed cost while operating and shutdown cost. Shutdown point is equal to fixed cost minus shutdown of operation cost upon contribution per unit. Non-cost considerations. Cost alone cannot be used for determining whether or not a factory should be closed down. Other factors which may affect the decision are summarized. Number 1, interest of employees. To maintain the skilled workers, it would be better to continue the business even though enough contribution is not available. This would be the case where skilled workers are essential for carrying on business operations. If the workers are relieved, it would be difficult to get skilled workers when business restarts. Number 2, keeping the product before the public, that is retain the customers. Desire of management to keep the product before the public. If the production is suspended, the product would be lost from public memory, and when the business restarts, it would take a heavy expenditure on advertisement. This would be the case when the product is sold under the trademark or brand name. In such a case, the operations are to be continued even though contribution is sufficient and loss may be treated as advertisement cost. Number 3, danger of obsolescence of the plant. The possibility of machinery and equipments becoming obsolete has also to be considered. Where fast technological changes are taking place, the machine will become obsolete within a short time. This cost is also to be considered as shutdown cost. Number 4, special problems of the industry. Certain specific costs of certain industries are relevant in taking this decision. For example, in iron and steel industry, it takes days to close down the furnace and also to restart it. Number 5, relationship with the customers. When business is suspended, it may be possible that the customers may not pay their dues. It will take a great deal of efforts to collect dues from them. It may also be possible that they may switch over to our competitors and cannot revert to us when we restart the business. Number 6, company reputation. It may adversely affect the relationship with the suppliers on the basis of demand of the firm. The suppliers would have extended the facilities which may remain idle, involving the supplier into a great loss. Now, let us come to the illustration. Illustration number 1. The directors of Himson Manufacturing Company state that the sales of the factory operating presently at 60% capacity, which is 8,000 units, will decline below this level. The statement of monthly sale reveals the following position: sales 8,000 units at rupees 4, total 32,000, less variable cost at rupees 2.50, rupees 20,000, fixed cost rupees 12,000, so total cost 32,000, profit nil. The directors consider that the operations be suspended until the better market conditions prevail. The sales manager suggests that the selling price has to be reduced even to maintain the present sales level. The general manager stated that all fixed costs will not be eliminated and minimum of rupees 3000 will have to be incurred. What decision should the management take? There is a possibility that sales would decline to 6500 units. Now let us come to the solution of illustration 1. We'll have the two columns, particulars and rupees. Fixed cost if the plant continues to operate 12,000. Fixed cost if plant is shut down, that is shut down cost 3,000. Additional fixed cost to be recovered 9,000. If production is continued, sales price 4 per unit, variable cost rupees 2.5 per unit, contribution per unit rupees 1.5. Shutdown point is equal to fixed cost minus shutdown of operation cost upon contribution per unit is equal to 12,000 rupees minus 3,000 rupees upon 1.5, that is contribution per unit, is equal to 9,000 divided by 1.5 is equal to 6,000 units. If production falls below 6,000 units, the fixed cost of rupees 9,000 will not be recovered. If, however, the sale is likely to be at the level of 6,500 units, the business should continue to operate. Illustration number 2. Vikas Traders Limited produces and sells one product. Its annual sale is rupees 2 lakhs, for which a special purpose machine is used and it has no alternative use. There are prospects of increase in its sales in future. The useful life of the factory is estimated at 5 years. The current level of sales will be maintained throughout these 5 years. The annual variable cost of this sale is rupees 1 lakh and fixed cost are rupees 75,000, of which depreciation is rupees 35,000 and other cash expenses are 40,000. Now let's come to the solution for illustration 2. That is the first part of the solution. If the business continues to operate, annual sales 2 lakhs, less variable cost 1 lakh, so contribution will be 1 lakh, less fixed cost excluding depreciation 40,000, so cash flow, that is profit, will be 60,000. The part B of the solution, if the business is closed down, the sale price of the factory is 1,50,000, but if the factory is sold away today, it will be rupees 1,50,000 deposited for 5 years at 6%. It would amount to sale price of the factory as under. So we'll have the two columns, particulars, rupees. Sale proceeds of factory 1,50,000, add 6% interest per annum, that is 9,000, and its present value based on the value table 9,000 into 5.637, it is 50,733. So amount available at the end of the 5th year is 2,733,000. If the business continues to operate, the annual cash flow will be rupees 60,000, which could be deposited at 6% interest per annum for 5 years will be as under. We'll have the two columns, particulars and rupees. Rupees 60,000 cash flow into the present value table, which is 5.637, it will be 3,48,220 plus sale proceeds of factory 20,000. So amount available at the end of the 5th year is 3,68,220. The above calculation reveals that it is better to continue to operate as we'll get rupees 3,68,220 at the end of the 5th year if the business is continued, while we may get rupees 2,733,000 if the business is closed down. Now let's come to the illustration number 3. Camor and Company Limited produces two joint products J and K in department A from a basic raw material. The input-output ratio of department A is 100:90. Product J, which becomes the input of department B, can be further processed in department B to make one of the most popular industrial products N. The input-output ratio of department B is 100:95. Alternatively, product J can also be sold at the split off stage. The selling prices are products J 29.40 per kg, product K rupees 26 per kg, product N rupees 31.50 per kg. Departmental expenses, production data and selling expenses envisaged in the budget 2018 are as under. A. Departmental expenses will have the three columns: particulars, product A, product B, rupees in lakhs, raw material rupees 16 per kg, direct materials 10 for A, 3 for B, direct wages 15 for A, 5 for B, variable overheads 20 for A, 7 for B, fixed overheads 25 for A, 10 for B. B. Production data will have the two columns: product and kilogram, product N 4,75,000 kilogram, product K 8,50,000 kilogram. The third C. Selling expenses will have the two columns: product and rupees, J 1 lakh rupees, K 2 lakh rupees, N 2 lakh rupees. You are required to prepare a statement showing the apportionment of joint cost between products J and K. Advise whether the company should process J further into product N or not. So workings. Present a statement of profitability based on your decision. Let us come to the solution of illustration 3. Let us have first the necessary working notes. 1. Production of product N 4,75,000 kg. Working note 2. Process loss in department B is 5% based on input output ratio. Number 3. Therefore, input required for department B will be 4,75,000 kg into 100 upon 95 is equal to 5 lakh kilograms. Number 4. Output of product J is equal to input into department B. Hence, output of J is 5 lakh kilograms. Point number 5. The total of output of department A is 5 lakh kilogram plus 13 lakh 50,000 kilogram is equal to 18 lakh 50,000 kilogram. Point number 6 of working note. Process loss in department A is 10%. Hence, input of raw material into department A based on input output ratio is equal to 13 lakh 50,000 into 100 upon 90 is equal to 15 lakh kilogram. Now the seventh working note. Joint cost in department A. Let us have the two columns: particulars and rupees. Raw material 15,000 kilogram at rupees 16, 2 crore 40 lakhs. Direct materials 10 lakhs. Direct wages 15 lakhs. Variable overheads 20 lakhs. Fixed overheads 25 lakhs. Total joint cost 3 crore 10 lakhs. Now let us prepare the statement showing the apportionment of joint cost between products J and K. We'll have the four columns: particulars, product J, product K, and total. Production in kilograms for product J 5 lakh kilogram, K 8 lakh 50,000 kilogram. Selling price 29.40 per unit for J and 26 per unit for product K. So sales value, that is production into selling price per unit, it is 1 crore 47 lakh for product J, 2 crore 21 lakh for product K, totaling 3 crore 68 lakhs in total. Less selling expenses 1 lakh for J, 2 lakhs for K, so 3 lakhs total. So market value at split of stage is 1 crore 46 lakhs for product J, 2 crore 19 lakh for product K, totaling 3 crore 65 lakhs. Now percentage based on the ratio of market value, it is 40% for J, 60% for K. Joint cost apportioned in the ratio of 40:60, that is 1 crore 24 lakhs for J and 1 crore 86 lakhs for K, totaling 3 crore 10 lakhs. Now let's come to the second statement, whether or not the company should process J further into product N. We'll have the two columns: particulars and rupees. Joint cost of product J 1 crore 24 lakhs. Department B cost: direct material 3 lakh, direct wages 5 lakhs, variable overhead 7 lakhs, fixed overheads 10 lakhs, selling expenses 2 lakhs. So total cost will be 1 crore 51 lakh. Sales value of N, that is 4,75,000 kilogram at 31.50, 1 crore 49 lakh 62,500. So there will be a loss of 1,37,500. In case if J is not processed further, the profitability of J would be, so we'll have the two columns: particulars, rupees. Joint cost 1 crore 24 lakhs. At selling expenses 1 lakh, so total cost 1 crore 25 lakhs. Sales value of J, that is 5 lakh kilogram at rupees 29.40, it is 1 crore 47 lakhs. Profits 22 lakhs. Less under recovery of fixed overheads of department B 10 lakhs, so net profit 12 lakhs. Since sales of product J at split of stage yields a net profit of 12 lakhs as against the loss of rupees 1,37,500 by processing of J into N, further processing of J into N should not be undertaken. Now the third statement, profitability statement based on the above decisions, will have the 4 columns. 1. Particulars, 2nd. Product J, 3rd. Product K, and final total. Production and sales in kilograms for product J 5 lakh, for product K 8 lakh 50,000. Selling price per kilogram 29.40 rupees for J and 26 rupees for K. Total sales value 1 crore 47 lakh for J, 2 crore 21 lakh for K, totaling 3 crore 68 lakhs. Joint cost 1 crore 24 lakh for J and 1 crore 86 lakhs for K, totaling 3 crore 10 lakhs. At selling expenses 1 lakh for J, 2 lakhs for K, total 3 lakh. So total cost for J will be 1 crore 25 lakhs and K 1 crore 88 lakhs, totaling 3 crore 13 lakhs. Profits 22 lakhs for product J, 33 lakh for product K, totaling 55 lakhs. Less under recovery of fixed overheads 10 lakhs, so net profit will be 45 lakhs. Now let's move to the summary. In this module, we learned how marginal costing technique is useful in taking the decision to sell or process further when joint products are manufactured, and how the decisions are taken to operate or shut down the business under adverse situations not favoring the business. Thank you.